Hey, everybody, welcome back to another segment of Wednesday Wisdom, sponsored by K-12 Sports Tech on the Education Lady podcast. We're going to be right back with today's Wednesday Wisdom guest, but we want to hear our shout out, so don't hit that fast forward button yet. As I mentioned, Wednesday Wisdom sponsored by K-12 Sports Tech. We're going to give them a shout out along with our other great sponsors. And we hope you visit these sponsors because they're companies I actually used as an AD. You should be using them too. So here we go. We want to say thanks to K-12 Sports Tech for their support of Wednesday Wisdom. K-12 Sports Tech helps athletic directors and sports vendors connect through education and hands-on consulting services. Athletic directors are also invited to join the K-12 Sports Tech AD think tank and help influence how companies share their tech to serve schools. To find out more or to join the think tank, all you have to do is go to k12sportstech.com. That's k12sportstech.com. We also want to say thanks to Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. Go to hometownticketing.com. It's digital ticketing that offers more. We want to say thanks to Gipper, the official social media graphics solution of the podcast. Go to gipper.com, start creating world-class content to celebrate your athletes and promote your teams on social media. Gipper's used and trusted by over 4,000 high school and college programs across the country. It's professional graphic design made simple. That's gipper.com. We want to thank Home Campus, the exclusive high school and state association management platform for us. And Home Campus is a platform you're going to use every single day for things like scheduling, student athlete eligibility and clearance. Who doesn't do that every day? Uploading digital forms, communicating with your athletes, coaches, and parents. If you're an AD, you're going to use Home Campus every day. It's going to make your job easier, faster, and you're going to enjoy it more. To get started, all you have to do is go to homecampus.com. That's homecampus.com. We want to thank Vital Signs Wall of Fame. If you're looking for a really cool way to show off your school record boards for all the teams, for all the events, or to show off your school's Hall of Fame, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. Check out their interactive touchscreen, that's right, touchscreen video consoles. It's a great way to also share your school's unique history and your proudest moments. That's vitalsignswalloffame.com. We want to say thanks to Snap Raise. Have you ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser and ended up with little, if any, return on investment? Stop right here. Go to snapraise.com. Hands down, the best online fundraiser out there. Go to snapraise.com. Check out their other great platforms, and then use their fundraising platform, which we use at our school, tremendous success. It's snapraise.com. Find out how SnapRaise can help you support your program. We want to say thanks to Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but as an AD, I was looking for a platform that all of our sports and coaches could benefit from, and Huddle came through like a champ. Our coaches just loved the tools that Huddle provided, and our athletes and parents loved it too. Go to huddle.com, join the 8 million users. Turn your school into a Huddle school. We want to say thank you to Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and schedule a live web demo to see their score tables and their score boards in action. Their products not only generate income for your athletic department, but they also create the ultimate game day experience for everybody in your school. That's sidelineinteractive.com. And we want to thank Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. Athletic surveys are about connections, and they're going to connect you with your student athletes, your coaches, and your parents. You're probably already connected with that small group that wants to complain about everything, the gripers. Well, athletic surveys will connect you to them, but they'll also connect you to the 98% of your stakeholders that love and support your program. And that information is tremendously valuable when you're talking with a frustrated parent, or maybe your principal, or even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey that lets you take the pulse of everybody in your program. Athleticsurveys.com. Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of Wednesday Wisdom, sponsored by K-12 Sports Tech on the Educational AD Podcast. We've got a friend of the show, Joanna Butcher. She's the director of athletics at Milpitas High School out in California. She's a certified athletic administrator, also a veteran of the Educational AD Podcast. We've added her to our Wednesday Wisdom team. We're recording this on March 26th, so you're going to be hearing it less than 24 hours later after we record it. So, Joanna, it's spring season, the busiest time for any athletic director in the country. Thanks so much for sharing with us. What do you have for our listeners this week on Wednesday Wisdom?
Well, I was actually thinking that it's actually a little bit of a slowdown because winter's done finally, and I have a little bit of a breath to kind of go through, breathe before the next eligibility. So I'm actually currently working on our end of the year athletic awards, and I'm going to inadvertently refer to it as the Murphy Awards because it was named after our first principal that we had here. So that's why they're called the Murphy Awards. So if I interchange those, I apologize. They're the end of the year athletic awards. But I'm working on it, and I do a little bit all year on this process. So the last Thursday of our school year, every year, we host our end of the year athletic awards. And some of the major awards that we do that probably most other schools do as well is an athlete of the year. And we have a couple specialized awards that I'll talk about. And then we do the career athletic. And I always think that the career achievement is a pretty special one because it encompasses more than just athletics on that one. But just for the setup of the night, taking through the process. So we have coaches nominations. Keep it simple. Have a Google form. I beg, I plead, and then I go back and I nominate, and then I beg and plead the coaches some more to try and nominate their athletes. And I have the form. I usually just kind of like refers the form each year to make life easier. And the coaches can nominate their athletes for Athlete of the Year. We have one that is a specialized event or season career, or it's not career, excuse me, season, overall season event. So if somebody PRs or breaks a record or sets a school record or goes to state or something like that, and they're not a multi-sport athlete, that achievement is huge. We notice it a lot with wrestlers. They tend to be a one sport athlete, but they make it to state in wrestling. We still want them to be able to win and honor them at our end of the year athletic awards more than just like our social media blasts. We have our awards are named after people from our school. Most of you guys do that. One of the awards that I think is pretty cool is we had a counselor in the early years who really was encouraging students to find something else to get involved in. And it's we kind of call it the good kid award. It goes to a junior athlete, and they need to be hardworking, and maybe they're a little bit introverted, but they're the ones that end up being the first to practice, the last to leave, maybe not the most talented athlete. They tend to volunteer to do stats, and they go through and they're just a presence, and they need to be a varsity athlete but a junior level. And that's one of the awards that I think is the most special. But they can't be but if they win athlete of the year, then they're eliminated from that option, so they definitely cannot win that as well. And the nice thing about that is they only have to be involved in one sport for that, whereas in our athlete of the year, for sophomores, juniors, and seniors, they need to be a two-sport athlete. I'm still pushing that, saying you need to be a multi-sport athlete in order to be up for this award. Our freshmen, if they are a varsity all league quality athlete, we allow them to be nominated as a one sport athlete at the freshman level for that one. The sorry, the career athletes, taking through the basic awards first, and then I was going to go back and prep the night because the night's kind of a fun night of some of the other things that we do as well. But the career athlete award for the Murphy athlete, everybody that's nominated, they get free admission for life to all of our home contests.
I love it.
But it is a GPA. It is their athletic achievement that we give points to. So whether they were a sportsmanship award winner, all league, state qualifier, award winner on their team, et cetera, et cetera. So we do it strictly by points. So there's no politics, no nothing. And we keep a history. And so this is where it's a little bit funny. I've got the paper sheets on each athlete that we've had currently in our system for these 4 years. I've talked to our IT and asked for some suggestions, but I'm still using paper because it's easiest at a glance and fastest. And then we honor that athlete that night. We give out their career award, and our principal actually is the one that hands out that award that night. But going back a little bit into it, some of the other things we do honor we make the announcements. We start off the night with our booster club handing out, snacks, drinks, and that type of thing. They are selling raffle tickets because your booster club can. So we have the teams help and support the raffle all year. And they are then being drawn. Some of them are drawn ahead of time, and we put them on a poster and have it up so that everybody knows. And if they're there, they can collect their winnings. And then they have some big ticket items. This year they're gonna raffle off a TV, and so they do the raffle after we end. So they're selling tickets before we set up. We have a couple of the cornhole. We do this in our gym. We set up the cornhole. It's amazing how the kids, we have to like put it away, otherwise they don't want to start the award ceremony on that one. But it's really fun to see them interacting and playing cornhole before the awards start, and just getting them interacting. On our video board, we have a video of year at a glance of everything, of the different photos and videos that mainly I've taken, but that I get other coaches now to help with that, because I've got the Google photo links and I hand them out to all the coaches and say, please have your parents drop photos in here for me because I can't be everywhere on that one. And so we start off with that and give some introduction. All the coaches are asked to be there. So we set up a giant table. I have 87 on staff, but usually we get about 50-ish coaches to show up, which usually it's some of our volunteers that may not make it, or, that aren't sure if they should be there. And even though I try and encourage them all to attend and be there and sit at the head table, some of them want to sit with the kids. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Still want you to be introduced and thanked. Last year, then we called up our champions first and handed out, we had some section champions and some NorCal champions because we don't have a state in badminton. And so, handed them t-shirts and let them be recognized. Coaches that are coach of the year for their league, we recognize them. 3 sport athletes get a patch and we bring them up. I have on the video board at the same time, we've got a PowerPoint. Sometimes it's an iMovie that we're using. And so we've got photos of them in action and from their media blast when I take a roster photo for them. And 3 sport scholar athletes, I do not call out their names because I think there's like 350 of them that have a 3.5 unweighted or more GPA. So we just asked them to come up and we just hand out their scholar patches to them on that one. But I do have their lists, and we do publicize all the athletes on that one ahead of time who is a scholar athlete. We kind of go back and define that. What does it mean to be a student athlete on it? We go through and move into our sportsmanship. So a lot of the schools, I know the conversation is about how do you get the kids to be better sports. We do hand out, each team of each level gets to hand out a sportsmanship award. And I let the coaches know, they can let the student know ahead of time. It doesn't have to be a big surprise, but because we want them to show up at the end of the year. So they may find out at their own team awards, Yet at the end of the year, we have all the sportsmanship winners come up one by one, and we have their coach actually present the sportsmanship plaque to that individual. They take their photo, then they go off to the side, have another backdrop, and take their photo. And so we kind of start off that year. I mean, we start off really pushing that sportsmanship angle on it before we go into just sport type of thing. And after we go through the basic awards with our excuse me, I keep stuttering, with our Murphy Award winner, it is their GPA is factored into, so they have to have a minimum overall graduating GPA of a higher than a 2.5. They need to have had more than 4 varsity blocks in their career, and they have to have never had code of conduct violation. We start looking at whether they've been ejected from a contest, because their name's going to go up on banners in the gym, just like the student athletes. But we want to say, if this is a career award for recognizing what they've accomplished in their time, we want to make sure that they are good citizens and good athletes and good students. So that, sorry, I was looking for something. I should have pulled it up ahead of time so that I could actually quote it correctly. You can always reach out to me and get you stuff when I stumble over it. But it's kind of nice because one of the things is their GPA is mentioned. So when we call up the top 3, like, point getters, we list out all their accomplishments from their career. We list their GPA. We say what their plans are for the following year. And so we give a little bit about that person. We want to make sure we humanize them, and then announce the winner. We usually have about, because we're a school, and I realize now we're like at 3,000, we kind of have somewhere between 6 to 10 overall that might be a female and a male, but then we whittle it down to the top 3 that actually get to come up and have that full thing and the accolades. But we will call everybody, the others up one after the other, and then the other, we just don't talk about everything kind of going through that. We definitely have had the kids, they are gunning for it. I know we had a young lady last year. She was like, no, I'm gonna be a 3-sport athlete. I want to make sure I do all of this stuff correctly. I want to get this. She's like, I want to make sure I have all my points. I want to be the highest. And she's like, I want to get it done in the classroom. She's like, how much is the GPA times by? I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna be able to win this. And so knowing that the student athlete and the student part is a factor in that, I think is kind of fun, for them to realize that we care about what's happening in the classroom on that one. I've talked a lot. I don't know if I allowed for any questions. I apologize on that one.
Well, let me go and jump in here real quick. Again, some really cool ideas. Now this, as you mentioned, is for an end of the year sports program. Do you do anything like, and you mentioned that teams have kind of their own end of season get together, et cetera. Is there any other athletic department sponsored event for awards, or do you just do it all at the end of the year?
So what I inherited, I would love it. I would love a season by season. I'm just going to be honest on that one. But I inherited a program that each team did their own thing. And so I print all the certificates, and then I handle all the plaques so that they're uniform across the board.
Right.
Give them everything else that the normal athletic department would do. Keep it simple. Have a process like, coaches, please buy Ziploc bags to put this and this, write the kid's name on it. Please look at it several days ahead of time before you hand it out, so that like who it goes to. Sorry, Ziploc bags, I know, but it's just the easiest. If somebody has another suggestion. And so we let the teams do their own thing. And so we have one giant athletic awards at the end of the year on that
Right.
one. And that
And again, you said yourself, you'd kind of like to do something seasonally, and it just shows it's not a right, wrong, or good or bad. It's just there's a lot of different ways to do it. Long story short, I don't want this to be about me. The schools that I was an AD at in Florida, and there were three of them, all of them had a year-end thing. I came in and really, it was really the only major change that I made. We went to seasonal awards for this one reason. We just saw the value in bringing the sports together, the kids, the coaches, and the parents, the community, to see the magnitude of each program or each season. And it was very scripted. We didn't just like the Academy Awards, play the music and get them off the stage, but every coach had a chance to talk about the kids, and we just got some really great feedback. We did all the things that you suggested, the backdrops, the photo opportunities, and we for our bigger awards, if you will, including our scholar athletes, and we had a lot of them, we would actually send an email home to a parent, and we would say, "Your child is being recognized at the upcoming whatever Winter Sports Awards." We didn't say what it was. It might have been a major award, it might have been a pin, it might have been a scholar athlete, but we wanted those parents there, and we got a pretty good turnaround. So the things that resonated for me, and then I'm going to shut up. You talk about recognizing the scholar athletes, so important. Uh, you talked about having a sportsmanship award and making it meaningful. And we changed ours over the years. Sometimes it was a nice jacket. We got the local sporting goods guy to sponsor it. We gave them something tangible. We talked about career accomplishments. We called it a times 10 award, somebody who had 10 varsity letters, because, we had sometimes freshmen, and at our school, sometimes even eighth graders in cross country or tennis or golf were lettered. So times 10, that was a big deal. And what else did I say? Oh, the three sport athletes too. So there's a lot of different ways you can, for lack of a better word, jazz up your awards. And whether you do it by season or whether you do it by end of the year, you want to make those kids and those parents feel like it's the ESPYs. Okay, it's the biggest thing in the world.
It's super fun to hear them cheer and shout, like whether it's when their coaches are announced or when their fellow peers are coming down. And part of my concern, so yeah, I grew up in a high school, similar area, where we did the seasonal, but we had a giant cafeteria where I grew up. So then we did the seasonal awards, we did the major awards, everybody together, the coaches got to talk, and then we break out around campus to
Right.
get certificates and do all the rest of that. Well, my school is very large but facility challenged. And so if we were to try and cut that off, I have no idea who would be able to practice. So then
Mhm.
we would be taking practice facilities away from 2 to 5 teams if we were to like take over the gym. We don't fit in our cafeteria, and our theater right now wouldn't be able to hold everybody. And so uh, due to facility challenges, I think that we'll probably, until we have something where we can fit more people, because we do have a performing arts center that's being built currently. They're out there digging.
Mhm.
Uh, we're gonna have to kind of stick with the end of the year in the gym type of thing, because we fill one side of the bleachers and then we put up about 300 chairs or so, and fill quite a few of the chairs as well. So
No, it's certainly an undertaking, and facilities are something that you have to take a look at. Um, we we would do those breakouts too, maybe like an hour for our major awards, and then we would break off into different venues, um, so the teams and the coaches could tell those long stories about every single kid, hand out the letters and the pins and things. Um, and then at my final school, and again, I didn't invent this, I stole it from somebody else. We would do our event with everybody, hand out those major awards, the scholar athletes and the sportsmanship, take about an hour. And the coaches did a great job, just did a wonderful job. And that was the end of the evening. We'd have refreshments, but we were there for an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes if it went long. But we allowed the coaches, or we encouraged, told them, to have those off-campus events, have those parties, if you will. And it wasn't about awards, that no trophies were given out, nothing like that. But again, they could recognize their seniors. They could talk about those kids in details that we just didn't have time for when every team was there. And again, breaking it up seasonally for us, we felt we gave each kid, each coach, each program their moment in the sun. but we weren't overwhelmed like you can be by waiting till the end of the year. So again, you've heard, two different versions here, end of the year and seasonal. Listeners, you find the one that works best for you, but I would encourage you to reach out to our guest, Joanna Butcher. Joanna, if somebody did want to reach out, pick your brain a little bit more, how do they get a hold of you?
So my email is jbutcher, JBUTCHER at Milpitas Unified School District. So at MUSD.org. And then my phone number in my office is 408-635-2800, extension 4150. Don't pause too long on the 4 because then you're going to get sent to attendance and you don't want that. You'll get very confused. We do have an Instagram, which is MHS Trojan Athletics, and kids love being on the gram. That's always a good place to put all your end of the year awards. It's fun to post the all league stuff up there as well. So email, phone, Instagram, in regards to getting a hold of me if you'd like to.
Okay, no, that'd be great. And next time we have you on Wednesday Wisdom, maybe talk about how you help promote your programs and your student athletes on social media, particularly on that Instagram account.
Oh, gotta love the gram.
I love the gram. Well, Joanna, thanks again for taking some time out. All the best moving forward, and we'll look forward to the next time you come back on Wednesday Wisdom.
All right, great. Thank you.
For listeners, we want to say thanks to you for listening. And a reminder, we upload all of these recordings to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We do this every week and just about every day with best practices. So come back next time for another great episode on the Educational AD Podcast. Hey, some great awards ideas there from Joanna Butcher, Milpitas High School. Don't be shy about reaching out. Um, Before we go, we do want to thank K-12 Sports Tech. They're sponsoring our Wednesday Wisdom segment, along with the rest of our regular sponsors. Huddle, go to huddle.com, change the way you see the game. Hometownticketing.com, they're the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. Hometownticketing.com. Home Campus is a platform you're going to use every day. Trust me. Go to homecampus.com to get started. Sideline Interactive indoor scoreboards and score tables. Probably the best purchase I ever made as an athletic director. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Athletic surveys by LifeTrack. If you've never used a survey, you're really missing out. Go to athleticsurveys.com. We want to say thanks to Gipper, helping us create world-class social media graphics. Go to gipper.com to get started. SnapRaise is the best online fundraising platform. No question about it. Go to snapraise.com to get started. And Vital Signs Wall of Fame. If you're looking for a great way to display your record boards or your Hall of Fame, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. Thanks for listening to this segment of Wednesday Wisdom. We'll see you next time on the Educational AD Podcast.